when we hear the term barrel bomb. You know, we switch the news on and we hear that barrel bombs were used to destroy this place and that place, even to the point where we've been speaking to families here over the years, and they tell us that the reason we had to leave our homes was because a barrel bomb was dropped on our house. But never did I imagine that in my lifetime I would actually be standing next to a barrel bomb.
Jigsaw team's airplane just landed.
So we just got into Syria now, crossed the border for the first time. We're in no man's land for quite a while, getting all the immigration, etc. sorted. We've got all that sorted now. We've met our partners, Rahma Worldwide, here now as well. We're just loading up the cars. We've got 2 cars, lots of people to get into, and then we'll get on our way, inshallah, to Damascus and start the deployment, inshallah.
وتصفو الحياة بنور هدى وتطلب نفس له طاعة ويبلغ سعد إلى منتهى.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, mashallah. We've arrived in Syria. We're all loading onto the buses, inshallah. We're going to make our way to one of our distributions. Are going to be taking place shortly, inshallah.
I've been to Idlib, but we haven't been to Damascus. So we'll be going to have a look at some mosques and some sites in Syria.
So we've just arrived here in Harasta, which is one of the suburbs of Damascus. And what we wanted to do was, the guys who've come with us on the deployment, we just wanted to give them an idea of where we're going to be distributing tomorrow, just to give them a bit of a heads up so they can see the situation. When we hear the term barrel bomb, you know, we switch the news on and we hear that barrel bombs were used to destroy this place and that place, even to the point where we've been speaking to families here over the years, and they tell us that the reason we had to leave our homes was because a barrel bomb was dropped on our house. But never did I imagine that in my lifetime I would actually be standing next to a barrel bomb.
It's just pure devastation, right? I think when you see these pictures on TV, you see it on Instagram, etc., the scale of it is never the same when you see it in real, when you see it in person. And what you're not seeing is that the amount of areas that we've driven through that are exactly like this. And still, you got one family that's living there. You can see clothes that have been hung out to dry. So all this devastation, I mean, all you can see here is devastation, but life still goes on. For people, life still goes on. They don't have an alternative. They can't just leave and go somewhere else. They'll probably end up in some tents or whatever, but they're still living. How they're even accessing that, I can't even imagine. Probably anything could fall down at any point.
Here exactly, it's the last chemical attack happened in this area, and basically under this building they have a big tunnel where they had field hospitals.
But they also use tunnels for food as well.
There is another tunnels. This area is full with for food, for exactly even like Jigsaw team before, long time ago, when they used to distribute here, it was like exactly in this area in 2018, I guess. Yeah.
The siege that took place in Ghouta, where the area was besieged for like 2 to 3 years, there was no food coming in, there was no food coming out, and obviously the people still had to eat. And just as a reminder, this was the same time when people were phoning imams and scholars and they were asking them, look, we have no food, is it permissible for us to eat cats, dogs, grass? And they were told, look, you can, because of the situation. So this is that same area, and if you look now, we have these tunnels behind us. These tunnels were made specifically to bring food in and out to the area, just so people could eat.
Alhamdulillah, we're en route with the advance team, making our way to our first distribution, just to ensure that everything will be a smooth transition and ready for us to make our first distribution, inshallah.
We've just arrived at the first distribution point. Myself and Hussein, as part of the advance team, we're just making sure everything is in place, everything's in order, the vouchers are being checked, all the paperwork's done, make sure the security arrangements are in place, because as you know, it's Syria, anything can happen, people are hungry, they're starving, but alhamdulillah, it looks like everything is in place.
Assalamu alaikum everybody, so we're on our day one of our distribution here. We're in Duma, just on the outskirts of Damascus. We've got our first beneficiary here, alhamdulillah. We've got our food parcels. You'll be very familiar with these, with our Ramadan label on there. Then we've got 10 kilos of rice that then goes with the food parcel. Following that, we've got bread, and then 5 kilos of potatoes that goes together with that as well. Then we have our beneficiaries leaving, and then obviously we repeat the cycle. Assalamu alaikum. So that's our distribution today in Duma on the outskirts of Damascus.
Okay, so as you can see, distribution is in motion. It was a bit hectic when we started, you know, we just had to rearrange things just so we can do it the way Jigsaw do it, you know, so nobody has to wait too long and everything's done in a specific order. So as you can see now, you know, this is the benefits of having experienced volunteers that work with us as well. So we're just finishing off here, and then join us as we go to distribution point 2. So you're probably seeing the footage of the destruction, and you're probably thinking, who are we distributing to? Who actually lives here? So we've just come here to this area. This is our second distribution point, and just as we were standing here, one of the residents of this apartment building, or whatever you want to call it, it's not really an apartment anymore, she was saying that she's lived here for like the last 10-15 years. So even though she lives on the 4th floor, her apartment was not totally destroyed, so she has no choice but to live here. You've seen before in Lebanon, we provide the recovery service as well. We've had a few occasions where cars have broke down, but you know what? I don't know if there was too much weight in there. When you got people like Hussein with you, look, what else do you need?
After completing our final distribution today, we came across this city called Jobar. This city has been completely demolished, as you can see, if you look around you. They've completely destroyed this after dealing with the living, where they made them to flee to Aleppo and Idlib and places like this. They allowed nobody to stay here. And now they don't even let the shuhada of this graveyard rest in peace. Subhanallah. The words can't explain the devastation and the situation that this city's in. Inshallah, we're leaving to do our distribution that we have arranged of water and dates in Masjid al-Nabawi, and we'll be there shortly just before iftar, inshallah.
So we've just arrived at Masjid al-Umawi. The location here is for the iftar distribution. We wanted to get the reward for us and for you, for people to break their fast. So we have just arrived here at the next distribution point, which is Al-Abada, another suburb of Damascus. What was interesting was we got here and we saw, normally when you see we arrive to the location, it's packed, there's hundreds of people here who are waiting for the aid. We came here and there was like nobody here, and we were thinking, what's going on? When we spoke to the locals, what they told us was that They didn't even believe that anyone was going to come today. They said nobody ever comes to this area, so why would someone be coming today to distribute aid? And I think this is, as we always mention, one of the unique USPs of Jigsaw, that we always try to make sure your donation goes to those that are most in need, and this is proof of that. Like we said, these people, they didn't actually believe that we're coming, but now they've seen the actual boxes, people are starting to come, and we're just going to get on with the distribution.
Brotherhood is always amazing. I was saying to the guys, meeting people is great. It's been very spiritually uplifting.
Alhamdulillah, it's been a phenomenal experience so far, and inshallah one of the first of many, hopefully with Jigsaw in the future.
My first one, and I thought my problems were difficult until I came here and realized there's a whole nother side of the world that we've only seen on TV. Subhanallah.
I think the trip's been absolutely amazing. The bond has been great, and the deployments have been fantastic, mashallah.
Inshallah, hard to put into words. First time on deployment, a battle of emotions, but alhamdulillah, certainly feels good seeing the joy on the faces of those families that need it. Alhamdulillah.
For me, it was more of an experience. We've all been to Idlib. We've never been able to roam and walk the streets of Damascus and Homs and places in Syria that we've never done before. So this was a very good experience, that we had the safety and security of walking freely and leisurely.
Alhamdulillah, the experience was amazing for me. Just being able to walk the streets of Damascus after all the oppression. Alhamdulillah, it just reminds you of how much we've got in the West as well.
The trip has been an eye-opener, and the key thing for me is there's a lot of work to be done going forward. So that's it, another successful trip deployment carried out in Syria, and now we'll see you in Lebanon.